Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to be talking about 10 convicted murderers who gave TV interviews before being arrested. These killers are some of the most notorious criminals in history, and they all managed to fool the media and the public into believing that they were innocent. They used their interviews to manipulate the public's opinion of them, and they often made claims of innocence that were later proven to be false. So without further ado, let's get started. Kicking off our list at number 10 is Gerard Baden-Clay, an Australian man who became infamous for the murder of his wife, Alison Baden-Clay, in 2012. After reporting her disappearance and making emotional pleas for her return, suspicions were raised during the investigation, leading to the discovery of Alison's body. Gerard was arrested and charged with the crime, and the trial revealed his involvement in an extramarital affair as a possible motive. Found guilty of murder, he was sentenced to life imprisonment with a non-parole period of 15 years. At number 9, we have Stuart Hazel, a British man who gained infamy for his involvement in the murder of 12-year-old Tia Sharp in 2012. Hazel was the partner of Tia's grandmother and initially claimed she had gone missing. As the investigation progressed, Tia's body was tragically found hidden in the loft of her grandmother's house. Hazel's media interviews expressing concern for Tia's safety turned out to be deceptive, and he was subsequently arrested and charged with her murder. He eventually pleaded guilty and was sentenced to life imprisonment with a minimum term of 38 years. Our next entry at number 8 is Christie Abrahams, an Australian woman, found herself at the center of a harrowing case when her 6-year-old daughter, Keisha Abrahams, disappeared in 2010. Publicly appealing for help and sympathy, Christie initially fooled the media and community with her pleas for her missing child. However, as investigations deepened, suspicions grew due to inconsistencies in her story. Tragically, Keisha's remains were discovered in 2011, leading to Christie's arrest and her eventual admission of causing her daughter's death. In 2013, Christie Abrahams was sentenced to 22 years in prison for manslaughter and being an accessory to murder. Coming in at number 7 is Darren Vickers, who abducted and murdered 8-year-old Jamie Lavis, a schoolboy from Openshaw, whom he groomed and snatched after Jamie boarded his bus. Vickers deceitfully inserted himself into the investigation, pretending to be haunted by the child's disappearance, and even moved in with Jamie's devastated family, all while knowing he was responsible for the crime. Eventually, Jamie's remains were found, and Vickers was sentenced to life imprisonment with a minimum term of 25 years. Recently, the parole board denied his release after a review, considering the heinous nature of his crimes and the risk factors present during his offending. Number 6 on our list is a chilling duo, Margaret and Neil Archer. Neil murdered his wife Jody Myers, a South Australian woman, following a heated argument, and buried her body under the floor of his parents' tool shed. After the crime, Archer stood alongside his mother, Margaret, in a televised plea for Jody to come home, while investigators were building their case against them. The Archers tried to deceive the media and public, but a typo-filled text message, along with other evidence, eventually led to their downfalls. Neil Archer was sentenced to a 22-year non-parole period for Jody's murder, and his mother, Margaret Archer, was sentenced to 6 years in prison for assisting her son. Halfway through our list is Scott Peterson, an American man who gained notoriety for the 2002 murder of his pregnant wife, Lacey Peterson. He initially fooled the media by claiming innocence and portraying himself as a concerned husband after reporting her disappearance. However, suspicions arose during the investigation, and evidence pointed towards his involvement in the crime. Lacey's body, along with that of their unborn child, was found near where Scott claimed to have been fishing on the day of her disappearance. The highly publicized trial revealed his extramarital affair, financial troubles, and suspicious behavior, ultimately leading to his conviction for first-degree murder and a death sentence. Taking the 4th spot is Deborah Kinsey, a 63-year-old woman from Oakland Park, faced a Broward County judge on murder charges for allegedly killing her next-door neighbor and friend, Charlotte Nicholas. After calling 911 to report the murder, Kinsey tearfully described the scene to reporters, stating she found Nicholas in a pool of blood in her Oakland Park duplex. Authorities discovered that Nicholas had been stabbed more than 70 times with a knife and a screwdriver. The investigation revealed that Kinsey had been harassing Nicholas for over a week, seemingly over jewelry she may have stolen. Kinsey was arrested and charged with murder, false ownership of information for pawned items, and dealing in stolen property. In the 3rd position, we have Stephen McDaniel, a convicted murderer who committed a gruesome crime against his fellow law school classmate, Lauren Giddings, in 2011. He managed to fool the media and law enforcement during the initial investigation, portraying himself as innocent and concerned about Lauren's disappearance. However, his suspicious behavior and conflicting statements raised red flags, leading to the discovery of dismembered human remains near their apartment complex. The evidence against him was overwhelming, including surveillance footage of him attempting to hide evidence. Despite his claims of innocence, McDaniel was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison without parole. Number 2 on our list is the heartbreaking case of Chris Watts, an American man, made headlines in 2018 when he was arrested for the murders of his pregnant wife, Shanann, and their 2 young daughters. Initially, Watts appeared on television and gave emotional interviews, pleading for their safe return. However, as the investigation unfolded, his facade crumbled, and he confessed to the heinous crimes. Watts admitted to strangling Shanann and smothering his daughters before disposing of their bodies at his workplace. He pleaded guilty to multiple charges and received 5 life sentences without parole, avoiding the death penalty. And finally, at the top of our list is Ian Huntley, born in 1974, gained infamy for the 2002 disappearance and murder of 10-year-old Holly Wells and Jessica Chapman in Soham, England. Working as a school caretaker, he actively participated in media appeals to find the missing girls, portraying himself as a concerned bystander. However, suspicions grew due to inconsistencies in his accounts, leading to his arrest. Despite maintaining his innocence, overwhelming evidence linked him to the crime, resulting in his 2003 conviction for 2 counts of murder and a life prison sentence. As we conclude our journey through these haunting cases, they remind us that evil can sometimes hide behind a deceptive mask. Our hearts go out to the victims' families who have endured unimaginable grief. Thank you for joining us today, and until next time, stay safe and take care.